Hey, hope you're doing well today. So today I want to show you this Instagram agent that I've made, which pretty much handles every aspect of Instagram that you need to get ahead on Instagram. So I'll start off with a demo of how it all works, and I'll get into how I made it and the process of creating everything. So first thing I like to do is find similar usernames, right? So one that I'll use for now is the AI surfer. So find usernames similar to the AI surfer, that's it. And this will actually take about a minute or so, because this is actually fetching all the usernames, then also getting all the data for those accounts as well, like their followers, their bio, their link, everything. So we can see everything in our Airtable. So I'll actually pop up and go to Airtable as well. As you can see, there's nothing in here at the moment. The similar accounts is where all the usernames will come in. So all the competitors, your competitors, in whatever niche that you want, but you do have to start with a base username, a base account. And I mean, you should have that already anyway if you're on Instagram, right? Pretty much all you're doing is putting in your competitor username, and it's going to find all the similar accounts related to that username as well. All right, so I just did a refresh. Click on these damn pop-ups. I hate these pop-ups on Airtable. Anyway, as we can see here, after I put in that username for the AI surfer, we now have 33 extra accounts, okay, which are also related to the AI surfer. So he does, videos related to AI. And anyway, we can see here that we have the usernames, we have the followers, we have the bios of each user as well. We also have the category. This might be digital creators, entrepreneur, advertising, marketing. We also have the URL as well, which is very important because we do want to go and have a look at their accounts and just see how they structure everything. We do have the user ID. There's not much use for that, but I'll come to that later, and obviously a record ID as well. So that's a little demo on how to get similar accounts in your niche, which is really good because now we're going to be expanding and getting content and analyzing reels for all of these accounts as well. So I'll come back over here. Let's analyze reels for the AI surfer. Now you will have to put in the exact username of the account here. You can't just say some random name, because it's going to extract that username and it's actually going to use that username to scrape from their account. So if you have a typo or something like that, well, it's going to go to a different account, right? So you want to get that exact account there as well. So we'll just go over here, reels again, and then there we go. We have the AI surfer as well. So we can see his content here, his best performing one here. It says great, got 1,239 shares, 435 comments, 1,475 likes. We can click into his video, see how his video is as well. There we go. Watch it all if you want, up to you. Right click, save, download it to your PC, your Mac, check out how they've edited it, you're good to go. But let's also repurpose this one. So I'll just test the workflow again. Let's just say fetch 5 reels from the AI surfer, because the AI surfer, he's since he's into AI and everything like that, if you do get related accounts to him, you will get a lot of AI related accounts. All right, so let's just say, let's just do the second one. I want to repurpose the second one. Send that, activate that. It's going to send it straight over there. Let's go over here and wait for it, which doesn't take that long at all. It's very, very quick. And then there we go. Okay, so we have our caption. As you can see, this caption is a little bit longer. We also have our script here. Okay, so we're just going to read through all that. The timestamps, everything, just follow the timestamps. 0 to, what am I talking about? 45 seconds to 50 seconds. That'll be for your CTA at the end. Want all these links, type voice in the comments, and I'll send them right over. So that's all there. Again, as I said before, you want to go into the video, see how it's all done, download that, and you're good to go. So now I'll show you how I've made all this as well. It's actually a very, very simple setup. So we just have a Telegram trigger connected over to our bot. This bot is called Nadia. Then I've just triggered it for all updates here. Then pass through an if node. So this if node here, the value in here is going to be your chat ID. Okay. The reason why I've set this is that if someone else from a different part of the world even uses your bot, okay, they can actually access your bot, and many people don't realize that. So other people can actually search and find your bot and actually access it. What this does is, if the chat ID, which is your account, your ID tied to your account, your Telegram account, if it doesn't match, it won't pass. So nothing will even happen. It'll just get blocked right here. Nothing can be done. Okay, so that's how that works. Then we're just doing a voice and a text. So if we look here, obviously voice messages send over to voice, text sends over to text, passes through Telegram to get the file if it is a voice, transcribes it, okay, with Whisper, and then sends it over to the agent. Or obviously if you're texting, it's just going straight over to Nadia, and she's going to receive that straight away. Then we're just using ChatGPT 4o Mini right here. So very simple, very fast, very cheap, and it's really all you need for parent agents. I don't really see much reason to use anything more powerful than that. Memory is just very simple, just 5 context length windows. We have the find similar usernames. So this is very simple. So call this tool for queries related to finding similar usernames by sending the username only. Label it here with username as well. And then obviously we are executing this from the other project. Okay, so we just, search that other project, place it in there. In this case, it's the search similar users project. Same deal with this. This is just going from a different workflow again for the analyze reels. Then same thing with this as well. We're just linking this one over to the Instagram repurposer, and we get that connected. Now for the fetch Instagram reels, nothing special in here. Obviously, get your account connected, get all your credentials set up. Then we have the resource, which is record, operation is search. The base, obviously it's going to be the base that you're using in the Airtable. Then the table, in this case will be reels. And then, so same deal with fetch usernames, but instead of the reels table, we're going to get similar accounts table. So that's why I've set that up here. Everything else pretty much the same. Just ensure you're, if you do want to make this at home, you are changing descriptions around as well. So that's all good. And then delete reels. Yeah, it's just deleting reels and delete usernames, and that's it. Okay. So then after all that, everything is then output back to Telegram, and then I can read it and get all the information. So if we actually look at Nadia's prompt here as well, I do have the text and voice. Okay, so that's the messages from me that she's receiving, the queries from me. In terms of the prompt, very, very simple. So we have, you are a highly efficient, fun, and enthusiastic personal assistant specializing in Instagram. Your expertise allows you to expertly interpret users' queries and seamlessly route them to the correct Instagram tool. Okay, so again, a few instructions here as well. This is the only time where I sometimes have to expand on things a little bit because you want things done in a specific order. Very, very simple. I like to add little emojis, things like that as well. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. I like it. Okay, so I have that there as well. Important one as well is notify the user if a tool fails to respond. So if a tool is failing to respond, this will just give an error message pretty much. Okay, so just a simple error message. And then if no records exist, mention this to the user. Now this is important because if no records exist, it'll actually think it doesn't work. Okay, and then it'll say, oh, there's an error with the tool, when in fact, well, there's no error. There's just nothing in the table. So just if there are no records, mention this. That's it. And then everything else is very, very simple. I've just said never display full captions if they exceed 60 characters because some of the captions that you get when you analyze reels, they might be this long, right? We don't want to see all of their captions in the text. It's just a simple, quick little 60 character truncated caption is fine with me. So for this setup, obviously, as I said before, we're just executing the workflow by the parent agent. So she's sending over the request. It's then executing this whole workflow. First thing we're doing is getting the ID of the person. Okay, so as we can see here, well, not for this one, but if we go over here and get this one here and copy to editor, the query that I sent before, so it was the AI surfer, right? So we can see the AI surfer has been extracted from the query that I had and sent directly here. That query is then picked up by the HTTP request, and we can see it at the bottom right here, the AI surfer, and then that's sending that over to the API. Then we are getting the similar account. So this is where it's actually taking the AI surfer and looking for similar accounts related to his account. So we get all the information and data here. Then I'm just going through, I'm splitting out just so I can actually pick up things and they're not nested. And then we get just the things that I need, which is just the ID, the username, and then I can pass it through a loop. Okay, so this is just going through a loop. And the reason for that is because if we come over here, what this is doing is actually getting the followers of that particular account and getting more information. So as you can see before, I've only got the ID and I've only got the username. As it passes through this is also getting the followers and so on and so forth as well. So now after the looping is done, we can see that it goes up here on done. Then I'm getting more account information here. So now I'm getting, the username, I'm getting the followers, I'm getting the bio, I'm getting the category as well, and obviously the user ID, as we can see here. So now that's outputting data like this. We got the username, we can see their followers, we can see their bio here as well, the category and the user ID. And then this is just a simple filter, just so I can filter out accounts with less than 5,000 followers. If you want, to be a little bit more lenient, you could set it to, let's say, 1,000 followers or 500 followers. But generally, I like to put it to around 5,000. This just gets rid of all those accounts which, aren't performing that well, right? And I don't really need to know about them anymore. No offense to them. But as we can see, that's then filtering out. So we can see 7 of them there were filtered out because of their followers being too low. So look at this. You got someone here with 126 followers. That's probably not going to benefit you too much. Then we're creating the URLs, because from the scraping system here, we aren't actually provided with URLs. So I've had to manually make the URLs. And if you know anything about Instagram, basically it's just instagram.com with the username. Okay, so I've just taken the username here, placed this in here, right? And then that will actually generate the username so that the output is now the link to their actual profile, which is going to be important if we want to look into their profile, see what's going on, and so on and so forth. And then we're just going to send to Airtable. So from Airtable here, we can see that all of that data from the previous steps is then being input straight into here. We can see the username, we've got the followers, we've got the bio, category, URL, and user ID. So if we come over to the actual Airtable for the similar accounts, that's exactly what we have here, and that's exactly what we see. Okay, so let's just open up this one here. We can see aidaily.insights, got nearly 97,000 followers. And then we can click straight to their profile as well. And then there we go, AI Daily Insights. And then we can just have a look at their content as well. How's their content performing? What kind of thumbnails are they using? And really, start to dive deep and analyze everything, all the little bits of information. Okay, so I'll come over to the next one now. So the next one I have is we'll do the analyze reels. Okay, so this one here, so this is just analyze reels. Same idea as before. We're just going to execute the workflow based on the query that I've sent to it. And then it's just extracted the username from my query, which was the AI surfer. It's then passed that along to get the ID. So now we're passing along that information, which we can see right here, the AI surfer. Then we're using this HTTP request to get the ID of that account. With the ID already fetched, we now can move it over here, and for the body parameters, we can actually use the ID right here. Okay, so we can see that ID being passed through, which was right here. Okay, that's the ID right there. We're passing that through, which is then scraping the reels from that person's account. Okay, so we can see the output here. I'll just open up the next one though. So we're splitting out again, just so it's not all nested, and I can more easily get access to this information as well. Then I'm just nitpicking and only getting the data that I want. Okay, so I don't, you can see there's a lot of just nonsense in here, right? Makes no sense to me. But if we actually use a set node, we can actually nitpick, only get the things that we actually want. So in this case, it would be, username, we want the caption, we want the view counts, obviously, the like count, comment count, the reshares, and then of course the video URL as well. Okay, so the output then from all of this crap here, okay, is then very clean. We can see the username, we can see the caption, we can see the view count, we can see the like count, the comment count, the reshare count, and then the video URL as well. So as I mentioned before, that video URL is very long, okay? And that's why I don't like to put it within prompts or anything like that, or send it to an agent, because it's just too much information, and I really want to reduce everything down to reduce the input tokens as well. All right, so this one here is just to calculate share percentage. I'm only basing this one on shares, and the reason for that is because shares in terms of engagement is the most powerful piece of engagement that a user can actually give you, right? Shares can boost your video and their exposure and get, more views. So all this is doing here, if you look at the calculation, this is just taking the reshare count and the view count and then timesing it by 100. So it's this reshare count divided by view count times 100, and then output the result, and then we get a result here of 2.21, and then I've just added an extra percentage as well, just to, make it a little bit easier to read, and we get a 2.2%, okay? So that's what that is. So that means that for every 100 viewers, we have roughly 2 people sharing this piece of content, okay? That's how that works. And then all that's happening here is that we're sending all this information straight to our Airtable so we can further access it, so we're not looking, at this right here. We actually have a nice interface. So I'll open that up as well. And this was for the Reels. So then, as you can see here, with all those metrics, as I mentioned before, we have the username, we have their caption, their views, the likes, the comments, the shares, and then that share percentage, and then the overall score, which is showing as good. And then we have, a link to the reel as well, and the date that we also added it. All right, now for the repurposing. So same deal here. We're just getting the parent agent to send the query over. In this case, rather than being the username though, we're actually getting the record ID. Because on this, we're not actually scraping anything. We're not using any APIs or anything like that, apart from, ChatGPT here and Claude. But what we're doing here is actually getting that record ID, so we can actually get that row from our table, okay? So we can see that here, then output this right here. Now, there's a very important reason for that, because if we open up our HTTP request, in the rows, I actually have a link to the reel, okay? So that link to the reel, I've placed it right in here, and then if you execute that, it'll actually output the reel, which can then be, obviously viewed here, or passed on to the next one. Now the next one here is obviously Whisper. So it's going to take that video and then transcribe it. So if I actually test this step, this data here will actually be transcribed. This is very, very quick. And that's pretty much the script of the video, okay? So that person's reel. Now we've transcribed his video, and now we pretty much have his script right here. Now that script is then passed directly over to an AI agent, okay? So again, it's a very simple setup here. And then from Whisper, that script is taken directly over to our AI agent. So now our AI agent has all of that. But in here, I've also put in, as you can see here, I have the script, okay, which is this right here. And I've also put in the caption, okay? So the caption will actually be delivered to the AI agent as well. Now, the AI agent now can repurpose the script and also the caption. And that way, if obviously the video is performing really, really well, we don't want to steer too far away from what's performing really, really well. We just want to repurpose it in our own words. We might change captions and things like that, and make some little small adjustments, but really we want to be expanding and improving on it rather than reinventing the wheel, okay? So the prompt in here as well, very, very simple. You are a master at repurposing scripts for videos, making video scripts which are even more engaging, driving shares from viewers, okay? Very, very simple. We have the task, what it's doing, just simple instructions as well, just to make sure it's, going in a particular order of doing each and every single thing. Example, write the hook, 0 to 3 seconds. And then constraints. For some reason, like the AI always loves putting exclamation marks. So I just added that as a constraint, and just to reduce it down a bit as well. And then after that, so that will actually be created. Now I'm using 3.5 Sonnet with this. So I'm using Claude because I feel like Claude, in terms of creative writing, in terms of articles, blogs, scripts, beautiful, really, really, really good, okay? If I use something like ChatGPT, it's going to be like, discover the latest, it just sounds like an AI made. Claude is really, really good at making scripts. Okay, so that's why I've used Claude here. It's then going to be creating the script with the Airtable tool here. So call this tool to create captions and scripts, set manually, connected to your table, and so on and so forth, obviously, as well. And then we have the base here, which is just getting connected to our Instagram base. We have the table, which is, yeah, our repurpose table. And then I've just set it all on defined by the model, which is just this button here. Now, obviously, you can't see it because I've already pressed it, but just this button here. Press them all of them, and then we're good to go. So that's the new feature from n8n, just to make it a lot easier. But one more important thing is I've also added here a require specific output format, and I've turned that on, all right? And then I've actually added a structured output parser. Now, the reason for that is because once it has made that row in Airtable, okay, I actually want a record ID as well. And there's a very good reason for that, because I want that record ID to be passed then to the Airtable node right here. Now, that will actually pass the record ID, which is right here. It'll update the row with a link to the original video. Now, the reason why I did that was because I could actually take the link and pass it through and hand it over to the agent, and then the agent could manually, well, not manually, but you know what I mean, put it in there itself, right? But then I'm passing more information. I wanted to focus on just making a script, making a caption, making it perfect. That's it. That's all I wanted to do, okay? Not confusing it with, oh, now you have to put the link in, now you have to do this. No, make it as simple as possible. It focuses on the things which are most valuable, which is creating a script and also making the caption. That's it. Very, very simple. So all I've done here was just, once that agent makes the script, okay, and the captions, everything, it'll then update the table, you know, provide your script and captions, everything here. And then after it's all done, okay, it'll be given a record ID, and then the Airtable tool will actually update this row with a link to the original video as well. So not only do we get our script and, you know, now we know how to say everything, now we have words that we can actually read, but we also have the original video, which is just showcasing like how the original video was made as well, okay? Which is important because we might want to say, oh, how do they say this part, or how do they say that part? And I'll just show you as well how we set up one of the APIs too. So this is using RocketAPI for Instagram. So I'll actually open up the, you know, the RapidAPI page here. So you just go up here, search up RocketAPI, which you can see right here as well. This will lead you directly here, and then we can actually get all of the endpoints here, okay? So we can click through and actually look through each one. Now, the reason why I actually use this one though is because if we actually look at the price, which is right here, the plan that I'm on currently is only $10 a month. That gives me 10,000 requests a month, which is, you know, more than enough, to be dead honest with you, right? Rate limits 8 requests per second. Okay, so again, you know, I'm not doing anything crazy here. All I need to do is just, you know, get information from Reels, repurpose content, nothing that I'm using this to be outside of these rate limits, right? So that's absolutely fine as well. Obviously, if you do need more and you're tracking hundreds of accounts or something like that, well, you might go for the $50 plan, maybe even the $100 plan. But for $10 a month, right, to get all this information at my fingertips and just do whatever the hell I want with it, can't go wrong with that, okay? So that's how that works. And all you're doing here is you're taking and you're going through the endpoints here of what you're actually after and what you need. Okay, so if we actually look through and we can just click, well, not even click, just hover your mouse over this little thing here. This will actually give you information of what each and every one does. Okay, so we can see, oh, this is for web search, this is for getting the user information, this is getting user info, things like that. Now, just how I've built that as well. So if we come over here, we can see this is a method post. Okay, because if we go back, we can see it's a method post right here. So it's a method post. We're then putting in the URL in here, okay, which you'll get from the page as well. Authentication set to none. We're activating send headers. We're putting in our rapid, the name for x-RapidAPI-key. Here, obviously, you're going to put your API key, you know, whatever that is. Then we're putting in the RapidAPI host in here. Then the text for the host as well, which will also be available there. Don't miss this as well. Content type, application JSON. We need to have that in there as well. Then we're coming down and we're just activating send body. Then we just have it on JSON right here. And this is where usernames are coming in, okay? So we're just gonna type in username. Now, don't forget, and this is very important as well, make sure when you're getting and trying to configure everything on your own, if it says username in lowercase, you use username in lowercase, okay? Not like, oh, I'll capitalize it today, or I'll just type it like this, for instance. No, type it exactly as it displays through their documentation, or through RapidAPI, or through Amplify. Make sure it's exact, okay? And then the value here is just being taken from the query. So I'm just dragging it across, placing it in there. Obviously I'll delete that one now, but that's how I've done that there as well. But that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. And if you are interested in using this template, you can go to my Skool community. I'm going to be putting this pretty much right after I upload this video. It's going to be available here. And then, yeah, I have my own courses that I've made here as well. I have different automation templates and agents and so on and so forth as well, that everything that I pretty much talk about on YouTube or TikTok is coming right here. So I upload everything. So I'll see you again next time. Hope you have a great day.